Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me this week. The topic of our meditation is give your ego time off. So just before we start, let me just say a little bit about my view of what the ego is. I like the understanding that Dr. David Hawkins speaks about, which is that our ego, which is an activity of our mind, is a natural extension of our evolutionary process of surviving in the world, and human beings have evolved to survive in the world, particularly because we've been very good at looking out for danger, figuring out ways to avoid danger, and to stay warm. So in that sense, it's not some spiritual mystery, but the activity of the mind extended to a time when we no longer need to escape woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers. And much of our effort to survive has turned into emotional survival in a world that is filled with internal obstacles and fewer, though not all dangers have been eliminated, of course, but the activity of the mind that we could say is the ego is that it has taken on a role that it's not well designed for, which is defining who we are and where our value lies. And I think that's why in many spiritual traditions, the ego is called an illusion, in the sense that it's an unreal construction of who we are, constantly changing, constantly looking for opportunity, defensive, looking for danger, and on an emotional level, it would appear that its overactivity has caused a great deal of problems in many, many people's lives. So this meditation is about setting aside the role of the ego to something more akin to what it should do, which is a small advisor, not the director of the movie of our lives. So let's begin. Find a comfortable meditation position. Take some calming breaths. No special method required, but just breathe. Notice that I breathe. I breathe in. I am here. I breathe out. I am here. Let's breathe in the awareness that we are here in this place right now. And on the out breath, let go all the apparent troubles of the day. As always, as we prepare, let's create a space where there are no problems to solve. Let's leave our concepts, our experiences of the past. Let's set them aside. We don't need to forget the past, but for this moment, this short time when we're seeking to understand something deeply about ourselves, let's not add the burden of the past. And let's also set aside the future, our concerns, our hopes, our dreams, our worries about the future. We can pick those up when we're finished. But for this short time, let's allow the past and the future to be set aside. And in the present, let's set aside the concepts we have about who we are. And this is really the work of the ego. So I'm asking you to, for this short time, give your ego a break. The concept of who we are, who we wish we could be, who we wish we were not, what we should have done or could have done or wish we hadn't done, all those concepts are forever changing. The idea that I'm a credible human, or I'm not a credible human, or I'm primarily a breadwinner, or I'm not. I'm a mum or a dad. And all that we attach to that. Let's decouple that. Let's unattach what we think a good dad is or a good mum, what we wish we could be at work or not be. All of these changing concepts are the work of our ego. So let's give our ego time off. Many times it feels impossible to do so. But my experience is, as we allow ourselves the space to recognize that we are not our mind, we are not our body, we are not our emotions, we are not our perceptions, we are something much more fundamental. The ego is an activity of the mind, constantly seeking to define our experience. And it is so adept at this, or you could argue so bad at this, that we create illusory ideas about who we are, who others are, what our experience is, our judgments, our assessment of what we're experiencing is so often incorrect. The Buddhists would say that we need to calm the monkey, the mind, and one of the major activities of the mind is the building of our ego, the ideas about who we are. Let's give the monkey time off. The director of the movie of our lives need not be our ego. Then who better to direct? Well, that which we truly are. So we know what we're not. If we allow ourselves just to be still, we can first recognize that we are. I am. Before we add any concepts to that, Let's just be I am. I exist. I am aware. Our mind, body, perceptions, emotions all take place in the field of our awareness, not the other way around. It's therefore much more logical to let that which we truly are be the director of our lives. We are aware. And it is in this field of awareness that we meet the infinite, eternal I amness, awareness, from which all things arise. This awareness, this field of consciousness, is the ground from which all things arise, all universes, all beings, all things. This is who we really are. It's who we are when we're 5 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, or 80 years old. It is the unchanging. We are that. The activities of our mind, including the ego, are merely activities of the mind, ever changing, and in that sense, illusory. Illusions actually exist, meaning illusions are based on perceptions. But the perceptions can be misinterpreted. A rope across the pathway from some distance may appear to be a snake. Our whole system may react to that interpretation of what's there, what is, with fear and loathing. And then the closer we get, our perception changes as we recognize it's in fact a rope. The rope exists. The illusion was the incorrect perception. So many of our judgments and interpretations of what is are illusory in the sense that they miss the essence of what is. And the tragedy of the ego is we buy into it. We buy into an illusory interpretation of what is. Our ego will tell us that we are independently existing and that, in fact, others are the other. From the point of view of awareness, we are one. There cannot be two. The field of I amness from which all things arise is one field, timeless. infinite. Our finite mind responds to the time and space environment that we're in. But that time and space environment is limited. And our interpretation of who we are need not be influenced by time and space. The essence of who we are, our awareness, is the field within which our bodies, minds, perceptions, emotions take place. The best place to experience who we really are is to notice from the vantage point of awareness. Awareness knows how to act in the world. Awareness sees what is more clearly than through the glasses of the ego. So we just need to give the ego time off. We don't need to fight it. We don't need to demonize it. We just need to recognize who's in charge. The ever-changing perceptions of time and space and the activity of the mind, or the awareness that we truly are. We are that awareness. We need only allow ourselves to abide there. And we all know the experience. The ego doth protest. But no need to fight. No need for anger or hatred or derision of the ego. Just let it know the advice is appreciated, but you are in charge. The essential you and I, our field of awareness. So let yourself sit, abide in quietly this infinite field of awareness. In this place, we can best experience what is. Feel free to pause this recording for as long as you like. Sit quietly here. We've left our ego at the door. And when you're ready, just notice where you are sitting or lying or whatever place you're in. Draw yourself back into the world. But remember, you don't have to pick up all your concepts of the past or the future or of who you are. there's a lot of that baggage we can let go of. Just abide in the activities of everyday life. Abide in the field of awareness that you are. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope we can all grant our egos more and more time off. I hope I'll see you next week, and I look forward to that time. Thanks a lot. Take care.